From landing my first job at Google to diving headfirst into garbage, my Odyssey has been a roller coaster of chasing dreams and connecting the dots. Hi, I'm Divya Hegde, and please be patient with me today while I take you on a journey of rebellious book summaries, questionable career choices, and a whole lot of bananas. Next slide, please. So when I was growing up, I was really worried about not having any idols to look up to. More than worried, I was embarrassed. Who are my idols? Who are the personalities that I liked, right? Instead of seeking inspiration, I was made to spend my summers and winters in my grandparents' house in rural Udupi. I didn't like that one bit. I thought I was too cool for the village life. I'd rather have spent my days with my friends in Bangalore. So, the rebellious days of youth. Oh, the rebellious days of my youth. My dad was determined to improve my general knowledge through the power of books. But I slyly and silently escaped into the world of book summaries. He was throwing encyclopedias at me as if it was a sport. Has anyone here read Manorama encyclopedias? Anyone? Not me. I was on a mission to rebel, my friend. So, aside from escaping book summaries, I need to tell you about my mom. Now, this woman, but she's a fierce advocate for Bata chappals. This woman believed in the power of these slippers to shut down any visible rebellion. So like I said, while my dad was busy promoting knowledge, I was busy learning book summaries just in case he questioned me, so I could quickly give him the rundown. Sneaky? Maybe. Effective? Definitely. Alongside seeking freedom, I did this other silly thing. Just for the sake of rebelling, I chose a non-science subject after 10th grade. To the disappointment of my parents, they wanted me to pursue science, but I wanted to blaze my own trail. And in this quest for freedom, I also grew wings and flew away to another state for that Google job. Now, when it comes to freedom, that's a concept that I really struggled with growing up. Compared to my cousins, I had a lot of freedom. But when I looked at my friends, I really felt trapped. Staying out beyond curfew times became the battlefield of my rebellion. There was this constant tug of war and negotiation happening with my family, all in the name of freedom. In this search for freedom, I decided I needed to go abroad. I was convinced that a foreign degree would guarantee me success. And my mom, she supported me because she was never allowed to pursue further studies. You know, I went to Chicago in search of success. I knew I was guaranteed success. Much to my surprise, global economic meltdown really humbled my faith in the foreign degree. It was a real struggle to land that job after graduation. I lived on bananas and bread, only because I couldn't afford anything else. I needed to save that money to make that rent just until I bagged that fabulous job. You know what they say? Hard work always pays off. Nope, not in my case. I had to come back. The job didn't work out. I was again humbled. This failure really hurt my ego. I came back. I started a digital marketing agency, ran it with a phenomenal team for 6 years. At the same time, I started visiting my native village, and I was wondering why everyone's so obsessed with moving to the big city of Bangalore. And actually, I surprised myself too. Aren't I the one that thought big cities were cool not so long ago? Okay, maybe a long time ago, but still. And then I was done. I was done pretending that changing the colors of websites was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Together with my colleagues, we started taking sessions for youth in my village where we tried to unmask the brainwashing of big marketeers. We wanted them to value their natural resources and start respecting local sustainable practices. And during one of these sessions, this cheeky 6th grader, he really called me out. He said, "So you grew up in Bangalore, studied abroad, came back, and now you're telling us not to aspire to these things." Ouch, that was actually like a slap in the face. Lesson learned, do not talk at these people, understand their life journey, communicate on their level. Climate action is not actually like selling the billionth mobile phone, right? The language that you use for climate communication needs to be custom, needs to be relatable and contextual to them. The polar bear can't be the only story on climate change. Climate change, actually, when you think about it, the language that's used by the official sector is vastly different from the language that's used by vulnerable groups. These vulnerable groups see climate change as loss of livelihoods, coastal erosion, health concerns, or even migration. That's when we really got thinking. We need to understand the odyssey of these coastal vulnerable groups. Can we solve their problem of livelihoods while they solve our problem of sustainable lifestyle? That's when our organization, Baeru, was born. We went around training women in waste management so that they can earn livelihoods, because it was time to stop expecting local communities in developing nations to understand a westernized concept of climate change. Climate change impact is local, and so the solutions need to be local and contextualized. So here's the deal. Women are truly disproportionately impacted by climate change. I'll tell you why. Because women are the ones that compromise first when there's a drought for food and water to provide to their family. They take a seat back during emergencies, medical emergencies, so that their families are tended to. And as the custodian of the most important and tight unit, that is the family, why then are we completely ignoring our most important and powerful ally for climate action? Keeping this in mind, we started training women to do door-to-door waste collection, segregation, and recycling. These women turn trash into cash, earning sustainable incomes on a month-on-month basis and social benefits. You know why? Because they understood and they related. And what's ironic is that there was a time, and this feels like a lifetime ago, where a far cry from what I'm about to tell you, but there was a time when my parents sold newspapers to make dinner money. That one time, dinner was bananas, and ironically, bananas is what I sustained myself on while I was being stubborn and broke, waiting to land that fabulous job abroad. Growing up, My parents never hid any challenges or vulnerabilities that they faced from my brother or I. We worked as a team. We tackled setbacks, we fought back, and found alternate solutions to the problems that we faced. And, you know, it ended up being great training for someone who was going to end up in the social impact sector. How do I put this? I live in the same house and the village now that I once thought was way too uncool for me. I miss my grandparents every day, and the house that they lived in, I used to leverage storytelling, culture, and arts to work on climate justice. We leverage Yakshagana, a 11th century art form, to talk about ocean pollution and waste management. The same silent rebellion and negotiation skills that young Divya honed all those years ago now helps me fight my battles in the challenging waste management space every day. Our socio-economic model is now the part of the life story of around 3,000 women in under 3 years. Our work has been recognized by UN Women and UNESCO. While I may have been humbled several times during this journey, for my parents, the script has slightly flipped. Right now, they're worried that I've become the ultimate bookworm, that I'm lost in a sea of never-ending pages while I'm skipping on socializing, the very thing that I really fought hard for. And also, I'm no longer embracing the art of summarizing books. So, my friends, embrace your rebellious side, read book summaries, chase that freedom like it is the last piece of chocolate cake, and wear your favorite brand of slippers like a loyal ambassador. Life is a journey full of plot twists and lessons, not failures, like I've learned. So embrace that rebellious, silent rebellious side. Let it bloom into something extraordinary, even if it means you're going to have to dive straight into garbage. Thank you so much for listening to me.